Let me tell you how pretty much all gang stalking is being ran by the Federal Bureau of Investigation through the prison industrial complex. It is Satanism, it's organized crime, and how pretty much a lot of our family members are actually involved and our so called friends are actually involved within this Satanism ran through the prison industrial complex. Okay? Back and pretty much how spiritual war is being waged and how what they're doing is pretty much these gang stalkers letting people out to live fake lives, and they performing pretty much psychiatry fraud and things like that on targeted individuals to cover up complete systematic corruption and the usage of advanced neural weapons. Okay, back in 2006, I was illegally implanted with a non-consensual neural implant at the Baltimore City Detention Center. It's non-consensual because I didn't consent to it. Okay, so what this government has been doing is illegally implanting civilians, using them as pretty much agents of the state, and engaging in MK Ultra and CointelPRO mind control under the guise of national security. This is complete treason, you guys. This is pretty much a attempt ran through the prison industrial complex to infiltrate FBI, what they always have done all throughout society. CointelPRO to infiltrate the whole entire civilian population, destroying our families, and brainwashing and mind controlling the entire population. Police involvement, community involvement, and pretty much how the FBI infiltrated the majority of our families. And what they do is psychiatry fraud, medical kidnapping, and everything else. And how spiritual warfare is waged on targeted individuals due to complete systematic fraud and government corruption. Okay? So, the state pretty much sent agents after you, say for instance, expose them, falls on a corrupt, any form of corrupt act. This is like used as retaliation, whereas though the state use actual people, agents of the state, and pay them, like your family, your friends, to pretty much commit violent acts or acts of organized crime out against you, strong-minded people. So they would have pretty much like Al Mother or something like that, or everybody involved in having you pretty much live a fake life, like paying these agents to try to get you to pretty much kill yourself. You get what I'm saying? Because after you wake up, you realize everything was false and it was all fake. And how this whole entire system is fucking built off corruption from the foundation. You get what I'm saying? This whole entire system is built off of corruption from the foundation using non-consensual neural implants or neural weapons, which pretty much give you illegal surveillance on almost everybody. How they've been tagging, targeting, and pretty much illegally spying on everybody. Just like they say, Illuminati, the all-seeing eye, that's because we're being watched through our own eyes by what's known as voice to skull and remote neural monitoring. Okay, this is being done by DARPA satellites. And they conducted a study and said 1 in 3 Americans has been illegally implanted without their knowledge or consent. Okay, our eyes are acting as pretty much cameras, while ears are actually acting as speakers or earphones. So the government pretty much sends V2K operators or handlers out from the prison industrial complex after the so-called targeted individual, the one who been illegally implanted. See, the wise one know that he's been illegally implanted, and what he'll do is he know these are pretty much against like HIPAA crimes, and not only HIPAA crimes, but just medical fraud completely, and how non-consensual human experimentation is being done. Through these non-consensual, pretty much neural implants, people are being tortured, murdered, and all of the voice of skull operators and handlers are pretty much recruited by the government through the prison industrial complex. Only they can pretty much operate technology anyway. On top of that, this advance. So this is pretty much human trafficking by the government. You get what I'm saying? They're the biggest fucking human traffickers and sex traffickers. You get what I'm saying? On the planet. And they're the ones who actually put cyber torture bounties out on targeted individuals too. the FBI, along with the National Security Administration. These are psychotronic weapons meant to get rid of people from society. Like me, I'm on remote neural monitoring. You get what I'm saying? These are neural weapons, whereas though I feel like I can feel somebody like moving my left leg and my right leg is moved. You get what I'm saying? These are psychotronic weapons meant to pretty much drive you insane or go kill somebody or kill yourself and get you rid from society. The government does this when they want you out of the system, whereas though, see, they're mad because they can't control you or they can't control your mind, but a lot of people around you, we never knew this. They actually control people's minds. They're under mind control. Actually, mind control through the operation of non-consensual neural weapons. Let it be known that I've been tortured by the government. I'm being tortured. Get some kind of pressurized gas is being inflated into my body all times. You get what I'm saying? Not only that, but I'm constantly getting voice to skull, better known as V2K, beamed into my head. And this is done pretty much so when you go see a psychiatrist to try to make you look crazy to cover up the complete systematic corruption. So never go to a psychiatrist or nothing like that and tell them I'm hearing voices in my head. This is being done through microwave hearing. It's called subliminal messaging through cell phone towers, okay? A doctor pretty much stated if they beam frequencies anywhere from 400 to 700 megahertz, they can pretty much produce sound in our heads and control every aspect of our bodies, including our organs. Okay? So this is all pretty much neurology. And this information would be known by most neurologists. You get what I'm saying? But a lot of them are actually told to keep their mouth shut too, because a lot of them are involved in collect payments from this system. You get what I'm saying? So this is all as a system. It's a fraudulent system. Psychiatry fraud. Organized gang stalking is pretty much recognized as an emerging threat, but it's being done by our own government, and they're trying to keep it hush-hush. Cyber torture also, the United Nations is supposed to be actually investigating. It's being done by our own government. You get what I'm saying? What they do is they beam the V2K, voice to skull, pretty much into your head. This is known as cyber torture. And what they're doing is medical kidnapping too, and psychiatry fraud, and they get your family involved in all of this too, because what happens is your family is recruited through the prison industrial complex, and they get compensated also. You get what I'm saying? They're all Satanists. This is Satanist, so this is pretty much, you got a bunch. What you got is a bunch of fucking sellouts, a bunch of sellouts through the prison industrial complex, selling people out to pretty much benefit this corrupt system and keep it running. And what happens is once they sell the people out, they're getting paid to do this. You get what I'm saying? And not only that, you know, they're taking life insurance bounties out on a targeted individual. You get what I'm saying? I'm a targeted individual from Baltimore, Maryland, right? So this is satanic ritual abuse and satanic sacrifices and shit being made by the government and the community abroad. The police involved in this shit. And you got a bunch of members of the community involved in it because they're recruited way through the prison industrial complex. So they just use as agents of the state. So they work deliberately with the police. See what's going on here, you guys? And what they're doing is spying on our thoughts. People are being targeted and tortured based upon, you know, what they think or what they believe in. This is spiritual warfare. And if they can't mind control you or brainwash you, they want you out of their system. If they can't control or manipulate your behavior or the way you think, which is actually being manipulated for the worse, not the good, then they want you out of their system. So pretty much expose this fucking fraud and this sham being committed by this completely corrupt government. Okay, you got corrupt ass cops trying to kidnap targeted individuals, trying to frame them. You got people from the community that are actually sellouts, Satanists recruited through the prison industrial complex to harass, torture, and use psychotronic software on a targeted individual, and how the government pretty much get your whole family involved in on it, and a community abroad and stuff too. So it's all ran from through the prison industrial complex, all mind control, and how they're pretty much waging psychological warfare on a targeted individual, leading them out to live fake lives on targeted individuals, then at the end, trying to ask the targeted individual if he believed it, then try to have him sacrificed and killed. And the whole time they already knew what you believed in. So they what they tell you is, oh, you believe in God, so we're going to kill your ass. You get what I'm saying? So you got a bunch of Satanists that are actually out here sacrificing their relatives through the prison industrial complex. Their own relatives, yes. They're sacrificing their own relatives. And what they're trying to do is pretty much say, like, if you don't get rid of your relative, then they get killed. You get what I'm saying? So this is all a system to pretty much keep people killing each other. You get what that's what it appears to me by the government. And while the government pretty much pays and profit off of genocide and covering and complete systematic corruption, covering everything up. The FBI has been known as one of the most corrupt agencies, known to man. You get what I'm saying? Like, they not supposed to have any real jurisdiction over states, and state law actually trumps federal law. But however, they managed to infiltrate pretty much all of society and impose their will upon population, mainly through the prison industrial complex. Why? Because almost everybody been arrested at least one time. You get what I'm saying? You go online, you'll see millions of inmates complain about being chipped, tortured, and everything else. So people are being chipped and tortured and murdered by this government. And it's just a big cover up. And psychological warfare is being waged, neural weapon attacks, torture, satanic ritual abuse, voice to skull, synthetic telepathy, remote neural monitoring, cyber torture, Satan, silent assassination through amplified neurons, electronic harassment with them beaming frequencies into people's heads. All this been done pretty much, or is being done by paid agents recruited by the FBI, which is known as gang stalking, through the prison industrial complex. And what they're doing is also maintaining a kill list. So if you expose their corruption, they put you on the kill list. I'm a cyber torture victim. If you're on a cyber torture victim, if you are a cyber torture victim, what they're trying to do is actually have you kidnapped. They try to have you jailed and killed and covering the shit up. And they have your family involved in it too. So they pay off everybody, your family and all that, because it's CointelPRO. MK Ultra, CointelPRO. So the FBI just cover your shit up. Let them know this is what's going on here in America. And these V2K handlers or operators, these mental people that are going around hacking people's minds and beaming voices in people's heads, all of them are pretty much ex-cons recruited through the prison industrial complex. People ain't crazy. This is technology being used, advanced satellite-based technology being used on the population, mass mind control, torture, and satanic ritual abuse by your so-called government.